world. Not just my opinion. I know a lot of other people second that. When it comes to coin collecting, he really does set, air quotes, the gold standard. And this is one of our rare primetime appearances. I always say, if you are new to HSN, stick around because Mike does things nobody else in the world of coin collecting does. We're doing FlexPay, which, by the way, that also doesn't happen in the world of coin collecting. So at the very least, I can promise you're going to learn something. So let's just jump right in, Mike. I know you're still joining us via phone, which thank you again. You got that Diet Coke? You're ready to ramp up?
You know me well, Shannon.
I know I do. All right, so where do we start? What are we looking at here, Mike?
Well, this is a special set. So the United States government started last year. They do two different proof sets during the year. They do the regular proof set and what they call the silver proof set. The silver proof set is where they take the dime, or the half dollar, and the quarters and make them out of silver. Well, last year they started doing this really cool thing where they started doing these bonuses that went in each and every one of these sets. A bonus that went in the proof set, the silver proof set, and the mint set. And the bonus last year were West Point minted Lincoln cents, which they had never done before. In this particular set, they did the same thing, but they put a West Point minted Jefferson nickel in that set. So there's already a Jefferson nickel in the silver proof set, but they included this special 11th coin, so there's literally two nickels in the set. That West Point mint that you see up there, the West Point mint reverse proof nickel. So it's not just West Point minted, but it's reverse proof. And the only way to get it is to buy a silver proof set. Well, we had the reverse proof 70 NGC nickel, just this coin that you see right here. I think it was $199, something along those lines. It had one airing completely and totally sold out. When we had those certified, we had NGC go through some of the complete sets. I mean, the silver proof sets are some of the most beautiful coins made by the United States Mint because there's just nothing since last year they started making them in pure silver. These are pure 9999 fine silver. Now, that's obviously a nickel and it's not. That's the West Point minted. But when you look at the Kennedy half dollar, if you look at the incredible quarters that are in there, or the dime, those silvers that are in there, you can see they do that. And that's why I have the silver bar label where it says 999 fine silver. They started that last year. What I have here is the entire set. The entire set graded absolutely, positively perfect.
Ooh.
That is unbelievable. And if you look at the fact that the regular nickel up there, the West Point minted nickel, I sold that out at $199. That makes the other 10 coins basically $40 a coin.
Oh, good grief.
Folks, it's not $40 a coin. Just the Kennedy half dollar. If I put that out by itself, just that silver Kennedy half dollar at $129, $149, I could sell every single solitary one of them. If I put out just the penny, if I just put out the Lincoln cent, that coin is going to go $79, $89. The Sacagawea golden dollar, because remember, they are year specific. It changes every year. And so that one honors Alaskan Native Americans that you're going to have right there. And so that is going to also be $79, $89. And then you have the 5 silver quarters down there all day long. $399 for that set. Add that into the West Point mint nickel. That's $599. So to be able to do the entire set, all 11 coins, certified NGC with my exclusive 999 fine label that you have there at what amounts to $50 a coin, is absolutely spectacular. I only did, the entire population of these is going to be 200 sets.
Wow.
That's all we're going to have to be able to do on this.
Well, and Mike, I'm not sure, sometimes we like to stump the guest, but we have 12-month VIP financing as well. So if you have an HSN card, and you know very well, Mike will tell you, that does not happen in the world of coin collecting for sure. So, Steve, I'm sorry, you did the math. That's $50 a month. Those are interest-free payments. And, of course, you can always call that toll-free number to apply and buy on that HSN card. But, you know, Mike, at the end of the day, what I really appreciate about you, in addition to the education, because we all learn so much when you're here, is you do a lot of legwork for these collectors. In fact, I'm looking behind the curtain, as it were. Now, is this also part of the package?
The box comes with it, of course.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, you need something. Of course, you have to have something to display your coins in.
Sure.
And so we custom make boxes for your collections. I mean, so many times, look, I go out there and buy coins on the internet so you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Is ultimately what it comes down to. And you would not believe the crud they send me and the way they send it to me. I mean, it's just absolutely, positively outrageous that what we have with that. So when we send you this set, yes, there's the custom display box. It looks fantastic. It's a great set. It's a rare set. It's a low population set. There's 11 perfect coins there out of one of the rarest silver proof sets that are ever going to be made by the United States Mint. The United States Mint, and here's the other thing about this. So the silver proof sets, all the proof sets, are made at the San Francisco Mint. Let's not forget that the San Francisco Mint was shut down for 6 weeks. It was shut down for 6 weeks, and it didn't produce coins. So when they originally released the silver proof set that you see here, it sold out in 1 day. It had never, ever done that before. The United States Mint has gone back and made a few additional sets. I still believe that this is going to end up, while it's going to be one of the most popular sets ever done by the United States Mint, I think it's still going to end up, it could well be the rarest of the silver proof sets made by the United States government in the modern silver proof sets from 1992 to date. And so once you add that in, the fact that the San Francisco Mint is desperately trying to keep up with production because they lost basically 10% of their entire year in what is going to be an incredibly popular year. And this silver proof set is always one of the most important sets that they put out this year. I rarely have been able to offer absolutely perfect sets that all 11 coins are certified perfect. There's always one of the coins or two of the coins that are just impossible. Like last year when we were doing the reverse proof sets from the proof sets from the Innovation Dollar set. I mean, the Pennsylvania 70 proof dollar, that's like a $2,000 coin. It just didn't grade 70. So to be able to put together a set where I can give you every single solitary one of the coins that is certified 100% perfect is almost unheard of. The fact that I have enough to actually show on the air is even more incredible. Now, if we can, we're looking at the quarters there. If we can go back and look at the quarters, the far quarter on the end, the baby bat quarter.
Mike,
that's the one
so sorry.
I love. The American Samoa quarter. It had its little, hashtag moment of fame that was out there. Was hashtag baby bat was incredible.
Mike, you had a sellout.
What?
You had a sellout.
Oh, the ITG, yeah, I knew that. Saw that come.
Okay, sorry. I just didn't want anybody to be disappointed. Because, see, well, I told you, a lot of people make those little lists and then they, sit on that item number. And okay, sorry, Mike.
That's okay.
Were you talking about Baby Yoda or who were you talking about?
Baby Bat.
Baby Bat.
It was Baby Yoda for a while, and then it went hashtag Baby Bat when you have the American Samoa coin. Well, this is where it's done in silver, where it's its rarest version, and in Proof 70 Ultra Cameo there, that's probably a $79 coin. Remember, all of the quarters are pure silver. The $50 is pure silver. The Roosevelt dime is pure silver. And then on top of that, I've included the bonus coin, the second nickel, which is the huge part of this. The fact that it's the West Point minted nickel in reverse proof in 70 as well. That coin, we are totally sold out of that coin individually at $199.95. If you look at that, the rest of them are $40 a piece. That's the cost of certification. That is truly, utterly, phenomenally amazing. amazing for me to be able to even put this set together. It's a one-time opportunity. So you get the bonus coin that only comes with the silver proof set. You've got it certified 70. A minute ago, Shannon, you had that little envelope in the back there.
Yes.
That's the reason they're impossible to get in 70. Because, well, you can't buy them individually. They only come in the proof set. The United States Mint sends them to you in a little envelope with a little bitty piece of plastic around it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is drop it one time, and there you go. Now, how's that going to protect the coin until you get it into a holder? Is it any wonder the proof 70 are almost impossible to get, because one drop of that coin, boom, and all of a sudden it's proof 67, proof 68. The Mint did not do a good job. So getting the absolute perfect set of all 11 coins is truly, truly spectacular and a great opportunity. And remember, this is the silver set. Do not confuse this with the regular set. Okay, the regular proof set. And because of the silvers are going to be so rare, remember, I think they're going to be the rarest of all the silver proof sets on top of it. So in the second year, they're doing it in pure silver. Then with the West Point minted reverse nickel, the bonus coin in there, which is almost impossible to get in its own right, I think it's tremendously collectible and desirable.
It is indeed. Shoot, I spend more time doing my bag lunch than the Mint does protecting its coins, for heaven's sake. So we do see you there. Remember, there are only a couple hundred in entirety in total, so definitely call. Remember, that last coin set was on 12-month VIP financing, in which case you're looking at $50 a month. And if you don't have an HSN card, of course, there are always great incentives. Check out those details. You can either call that toll-free number or join us at hsn.com. Well, we're turning the page to another hour here shortly, and if you are channel surfing, of course, we are joined via telephone with Mike Mezak.